So how do we conquer dreaded tasks, and why am I wearing an apron? I'll explain why, coming up next. Conquering dreaded tasks. We all deal with them. It could be tasks that our boss assigns to us, or it could be part of a larger project. And sometimes we just don't want to do them. Sometimes we don't have the time to do them, or we wait until the last minute to do them. And if we do that, the quality is usually not that good. So how do we overcome this procrastination to conquer these dreaded tasks? Well, I read recently about an interesting approach from Successful Time Management for Dummies by Dirk Zeller. I'll put the link below. But in it, he suggested using sandwich tactics to conquer these dreaded tasks. And that's what we're going to talk about today, and that's why I'm wearing the apron. So let's get started. The first method to conquer a dreaded task is called the eat the crust first approach. Now, when I was growing up, I enjoyed peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. I ate them all the time. And one of the special things about them is that my mom cut off the crust. Why? Because I didn't like the crust. Well, in this tactic called eat the crust first approach, no one really likes the crust. So when you have a sandwich like this, and it's your task, your metaphorical task, what the approach is that you eat the crust first. You get rid of the worst thing about this task. You get rid of that, you eat the crust first, and then you have the good stuff left over. So the next approach to conquer a dreaded task is the Swiss cheese approach. So again, you have this overwhelming task and you're not really sure where to start. Well, the best way to do it is to poke holes in it. You poke holes in the task. You do a little bit here and a little bit there, and before you know it, it's going to be easier to complete. So you have a long-term project, right? One that's due in, say, 2 or 3 months. And so you're like, oh, I've got plenty of time to do that. I'll wait. And then 1 month goes by, and then 2 months goes by, and then another couple of weeks go by, and before you know it, you've only got a week or two to complete this project that you've had on your slate for the last 3 months. So you've got this large task to complete, and then you rush and rush and rush, and it usually doesn't turn out well. Well, in the eat the salami first approach, say the task is a large piece of salami. Well, instead of waiting to do the entire task, then you do the eat the salami first approach, where you cut the task up into small pieces and eat them. And before you know it, when 2 months have come by, you only have a little bit left. Eat the salami first approach. Good way to conquer long-term tasks. Now, the next method to conquer a dreaded task is called the discard the garnish approach. So we've all had a meal in a restaurant, and they bring out the meal and it's a nice presentation. You've got your main course there, and you've got these garnish pieces that are around it. Something much like this. So you've got your lemon and your parsley and things like that, and it looks very nice. Well, on your project list, maybe you have a lot of tasks to do, and maybe you don't quite need to do all of them. And that's called the discard the garnish. So obviously in our metaphorical method is the task is the main entree. These garnish pieces, they're going to get in our way. So maybe this one we can just get rid of. We're not doing that one. Maybe this one we can give to someone else or delegate to someone else. And this one we just decide we're not going to do. And before you know it, what's left over is the main task that you need to do. So discard the garnish. Get rid of those tasks that are really inconsequential and focus on the main task. So I hope you enjoyed this brief overview on how to conquer those dreaded tasks. And again, the book is Successful Time Management for Dummies by Dirk Zeller, and I'll put the link below in the comments. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you have a comment about this topic or any other topic you would like to see, I'd love to hear from you. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel. Until next time, good luck with conquering those dreaded tasks.